So I'm Fabien Dumon. I'm leading the defense and space part of the Holographic Academy for Airbus. And I will explain you a bit what we are doing in this academy. So first, just for you to know that a few years ago, our CEO, Tom Enders, put the digitization of the company at one of the first priorities. And so we identified several capabilities for that. So actually there is 8, but so it changed, you know, for digitization. Sometimes we remove some of them, but mixed reality is one of them, and so this is my part. So what we are calling mixed reality, just for you to remember. It's not the Microsoft definition, but it's more the digital continuum, virtuality continuum definition. Everything between reality and virtuality. So we are dealing a lot with augmented reality and virtuality. Augmented virtuality, not so much. It's more for media. We don't have a lot of use case for that. So Airbus is doing mixed reality for a long time, more than 20 years ago, I guess. Like our colleague from Boeing, a simple HUD, it's already augmented reality inside an aircraft. But to go more into detail, 15 years ago, we developed some engineering and training application. One is called REA, with the cave and Powerwall. And at this time, as you know, no technology were existing, and we were focused more on the technology than the use case. We work a lot on developing, so with supplier, but with developing cave that are very expensive. We have 2 6-wall cave inside Airbus. This room costs several $1 million. It's very expensive. After that, 10 years ago, for the A380, we started to work with augmented reality. At this time, it was with tablet and camera, and it was for quality inspection. So we were able to map the digital mockup with the real aircraft to automatize some quality check for the bracket installation on the screen. And already 10 years ago, we get a lot of saving. So the quality inspection for the bracket installation inside the A350 before this application took 3 weeks with 4 people. After, with this application, 3 days with 1 people. This is very huge for us to save all this time for quality inspection. But 3-4 years ago, something changed. So I like this this speech from Clay, saying that okay, now all the devices are on the market. We don't need to focus too much on the technology, but more how to use it. So just to summarize, we think that the digital mixed reality, digital realities, are the next digital revolution, and this is time to start to paddle to take the wave. And we decided to create the Airbus Holographic Academy. As I said, not to focus too much on the hardware, because now we can buy one on any shop. You can buy the Oculus and the HoloLens very easily, but more on the use case and how to add value to at Airbus for it. So why now? I will go quick on this slide. I guess you all knows what happened on these technologies. And so we started to work, as I said, 3 years ago. We decided first to extract, to prove that this technology have a real value for Airbus, even if before we have some success. We need to prove that at large scale we can take benefit of it. Last year we started to develop some prototypes a lot to extract the value, to be able to evaluate, to monitorize what could be the ROI of using this technology. And during this time, we developed more than 50 different prototypes. So that's why I will not have a lot of video like my Boeing colleagues, because I will not give you the 50 prototypes. But the idea is to go quickly on short prototypes to find if we can get value from this, and after that to go to industrialization. And the goal of this year and the next coming years is now to create the environment to have mixed reality at Airbus like any other digital hardware, like a PC, like a tablet, like a smartphone. In the next coming months, we hope that it will be possible at Airbus to just get an HoloLens or an HTC Vive to do your work. And for that, we are developing a big platform where we will be able to communalize all the use case. And so my previous the previous guys from Boeing said all the pipeline to get from the CAD to the mixed reality, and so this is one thing which will be inside this platform. Yes, so the strategy we put in place for that is around 3 different axes: the booster project, implementation framework, and the tech lab network. So the booster project is some project we are doing with external company, world-class leader, to increase our learning curve and to be able to get all this knowledge and use it for internal use cases. We started in 2015 with Microsoft. We were one of the early adapters of the HoloLens. And during this time, we developed a prototype. I will talk a bit after about this one. We developed a prototype for manufacturing. After that, last year we did 2 of them. One with Singularity University about learning and human resources, and one other with Japan Airlines for customer services and how we can train the air crew to use our aircraft. And for the last one, we were pretty proud because it is the first world mixed reality application. This time Microsoft definition, because the same application, exactly the same, work on the mixed reality headset and on the HoloLens. So one of the lessons for this one, for example, is starting the engine of the F350. And in fact, if you are on a room like this, you put your VR headset and you are inside the cockpit and you can do everything. If you are in the real aircraft, you just have to calibrate the aircraft and you can do the same thing, but with the HoloLens and without the virtual cockpit. Second axis, implementation framework. So as I said, one of our work is also to map all the use cases we have inside Airbus. We map more than 300 different use cases. It's a lot. And we know that for implementing, not all of them, but all that bring value, we will have the same issue with IT, security, health and safety, how to buy them, all this stuff will be common with all the different projects we'll have. That's why we work a lot on this common framework. And also the development side to have an internal SDK and also implementation partner, because at Airbus now the Holographic Academy network is around 100, 120 people, but it's not enough to develop all the use cases we have, so we need to find implementation partner. And also to manage a community. So an internal community, but also an external community. Last year, twice we did what we call the Impulsion Week. This is working with external company during a week to do a kind of hackathon, but also experience sharing and so on. I have a small video for that.
We were looking for a different way to be more agile, more creative, and also collaborate in an open innovation environment with other companies.
The goal of this week is to work collaboratively with Airbus, try to make these mixed reality use cases even better for our customers.
The Impulsion Week is a concept combining a team booster, a workshop and a hackathon for Airbus teams and external companies as well. The goal is to establish the foundation to work on a new mixed reality application for the Leadership University. We got all the Holographic Academy network from defense, helicopter and commercial, plus external companies like ThyssenKrupp, Microsoft, Deutsche Telekom, Unity, Epitech and Persistent Studio. The Holographic Academy is a transversal and multi-division team we created to accelerate the implementation of augmented and virtual reality technologies inside Airbus.
We have welcomed the Holographic Academy for a few months in our Leadership University to be able to build potential solutions through new tools to see what we can bring different to the business.
We have a very good relationship with Airbus. We've done some work with those guys previously and helped them build one of the experiences which they're doing at the minute, which is around training pilots to take off an aeroplane. We wanted to come and see what everybody was up to.
This has been very, very productive and also has been a lot of fun.
Actually, it's more than what we expected at the end of this week. I mean, my team, I spoke with them just a bit ago, and they had some ideas what they were going to do when they got here, and this has all surpassed what their ideas and goals were. I mean, it's very exciting for everybody to see what we can accomplish together.
I would say that the Impulsion Week for us is exactly what we try to think about when we designed the whole Leadership University concept. We want this space to be an experimental lab for any topics that contribute to the transformation of the company. In that sense, the Impulsion Week has even gone beyond our expectations of contributing to building the future of augmented reality and virtual reality, but also building blocks for us to develop further our leadership solutions.
So it was for the Impulsion Week. The Impulsion Week we did last year, and this year we started a few weeks ago the first what we call the XR Aeronautic Club with some airline. So the Impulsion Week is more to share experiences on the technical side, and the XR Aeronautic Club is more to share with the airlines, our customers, what kind of service we can offer to them using mixed reality and our product, our aircraft. The last axis of the strategy is to spread the knowledge all over the company. So that's why we have 3 main Holographic Academy, one in Elancourt for Airbus Defense and Space, one in Toulouse for Airbus commercial aircraft, and one in Marignane for helicopters. But after that, we need to be very close to the final user. So that's why we have smaller team in all the different, not all, but a lot of different sites of Airbus all over Europe, but now all over the world, one in Dallas, one in Bangalore, and one in Adelaide in Australia. The goal of this small team is more to make the link with the final user to acquire the use case and to deliver prototypes, pilots, or final product. So as I said, now the idea is not to focus too much on the technology side. So as I said, we did it a lot previously. We develop our own SLAM algorithm. We integrate hardware, tablet with specific camera. We developed our own caves and our own bower wall. But now we don't want to focus too much on that. It's the job of Microsoft, Google, Apple, HTC, and so on. And we decide to define different capabilities of the hardware and different elementary tasks we can do. After that, we have several categories. For augmented reality, we go from smartwatch to AR headset. For VR, we go from cave and power wall, same thing, to headset. And after that, when one guys come to us with a use case, with an ID, we are able to define which elementary task he need to do, which capability he will need, and to select the good hardware he need without creating a new one. And with this methodology, for example, one people came a few months ago to have AR application. He wanted to have something in the HoloLens because this is a very busy device for the time being. And finally, he came back with a smartwatch application, and it was totally happy because the need he had was fully compatible with the capability of the smartwatch and didn't need a very expensive headset like the HoloLens. So that's why with this methodology we can adapt the hardware to the use case and not use always the same device. And so we have the methodology coming from the awareness. So it's one part is very important when you are trying to use new technology inside a big company. Is first to do the awareness, to go to the people, to explain them what they can do with the technology, what they cannot do. After that, be able to rapidly prototype a solution, define what the validation scenario to be sure that you can bring value to the company. All the business are very different. If you go to the automotive, the car manufacturer, they don't have, even for manufacturing, they don't have the same needs as us. The aircraft is very big. You cannot use not a lot automatic task. We don't have a robot. A lot of things are done manually. A lot of use cases that are good for aircraft are not good for automotive, and that's why we need to test, to do rapid prototypes. After that, we are able to evaluate the value, and on that, we have more or less the same result that Boeing said before, between 25 and 30% on production time. And we don't have a very precise figure for the number of defects we reduce, but it's also a lot. And at the end, we can go to the deployment. As I said, we have more than 300 different use cases. You can see that a lot of them are for production, for manufacturing. And we started to develop a kind of portfolio of application. When I said before that we had developed more than 50 different prototypes, this is part of them. Sometimes you can use the same application to develop several prototypes, sometimes not. So the first one for manufacturing and maintenance, it's something different that you saw from Boeing, because for this one we'd say that we want to not focus too much on the DMU and try to bring the information where it's needed without putting too much 3D model inside the headset, because the computation power is not very high currently. The second one, Myra, was the one done previously on tablet. This is a 10 years ago application, and now we're starting to go to the HoloLens. And with this one, we are very linked to the DMU. So the two applications are complementary, and in the future they will be merged, I guess. We started to work with remote expertise as well. For engineering, it's more the VR part, how we can train people for the manufacturing process, how we can validate the manufacturing process, how we can validate the design of the different parts of the aircraft for new aircraft. After that, we have other application for customer services, the MR trainer, how we can train the customer to use the product. So as I said, how to start the A350, it is one of the use cases, but we have a lot of other training under development. The human resources part, it was one we developed with Singularity University. The idea is how to use augmented reality to increase what you get after learning. We all have a different way of learning. Some of you prefer to read something, some others prefer to watch a video or to listen someone. It's really different from other people, but with augmented reality we can bring the good content. And with this application, we decide to illustrate that with a scenario like what could be the training for a newcomer at Airbus. And we have 3 lessons inside. One is what is Airbus, the different products, and so you have all the stuff behind you, and you can decide if you want to have a virtual coach that explains you what it is. If you prefer to have text, if you prefer to have some animation, if you prefer to practice. And a second lesson about the basics of aerodynamics. Marketing, we have now a lot of application for marketing, for air show. One is for military aircraft. You go inside the cargo of the F100M, and you can see all the different configuration in real size. Same thing for an aircraft, commercial aircraft. You can go inside an empty aircraft, and you can see all the different seats. You can decide the color. You can decide the material of the seat. You can decide which seat for the economy class, which seat for the business class. After that, we have also the smart model application. You have a real model, and we can add some information in augmented reality. And the last one, we started to develop some application for the army based on the. I guess you also the Avatar movie. What could be a virtual briefing around a 3D map. It is another application we are developing. This is the 8 main applications, but we have a lot of other more. And yeah. So finally, where we are now. We have partnership with different companies like Microsoft, Lenovo, HTC, to be sure that we can know what will happen, not just for fun, but to be able to adapt our development strategy on what we will have in 6 months, in 1 year. So that's why we try to have very strong partnership with the manufacturer to avoid to develop something that will be available on the market in 2-3 months. We also have, so as I said, we develop more than 50 different prototypes. We use the technology inside Airshow. And yes, since the mixed reality partner, the Holographic Academy is, I guess we are the only industrial like that. We are part of the mixed reality partner of Microsoft. So we are certified by Microsoft for mixed reality application development. And I guess it's all.
Great, thank you, Fabien. Do we have any questions in the audience? Anyone? Here you go, sold it up.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Thanks so much for presentation. So I have a question. So there were a lot of questions on the main stage about return on investment. I don't want to talk a lot about the past, but still you have great experience in virtual reality many years. So I just wanted to say, this new generation of virtual augmented reality, mixed reality, is it absolutely new directions of case studies, or you're trying to improve, for example, virtual prototyping? You already use caves and power walls for this application of technology. So how it works? There were a lot of investment for it, as you said, several millions of euro. So are you going to change something, or you leave it as it is and you are going to find new directions? So absolutely.
So the cave and the power wall we already have. We will not destroy them. We will continue to use them, but we will not build new one. So for example, as I said, a 6-wall power cave, it's something like $2 million, I guess. And now, today, you can do more or less the same thing with an HTC Vive. So with the PC, we'll say 3,000 euros against $2 million. So you see, definitively, even if you have to buy 100 of HTC Vive, the ROI is, so we don't have to do a prototype for that. It's very obvious. After that, for all the manufacturing part, I would say the cost of the device is not really the problem, because currently even the HoloLens are expensive, but we know that the next generation and the next after, the price will decrease. We saw that with Magic Leap. The price of the Magic Leap is lower than the HoloLens, and we can imagine that the next version of the HoloLens will be lower, and maybe next year we'll have something from Google, we don't know, from Apple. And same thing, the target of this company are the customer market. So at the end, we don't know, maybe in 5 years, maybe sooner, maybe later, the price of this kind of device, we think that it will be around 1,000 euro. And for us, it's not an issue to. So if you can save 30% of the time by installing harnesses inside an aircraft, 1,000 euro is not a big deal. So now what we are to focus to bring the value is not the hardware, as I said, is more the investment for the development, the software development, and after that also the investment for the integrate the application inside the Airbus ecosystem. And this part we have to evaluate, and with the prototype we are able to evaluate the benefit, the saving we will have. And after that, we are able to evaluate the cost of the development, and we know that if it is a good use case or not.
Great, thank you. I think we have time for one more question. I saw a hand over here.
Hi, yeah. I can see that you have a portfolio of AR and VR productions in there. You mentioned Microsoft as being your core partner for the AR space. How do you handle productions in VR? Do you work with startups? Do you work with an internal team that produces the scenes? How do you work?
I would say both. So as I said, inside the Holographic Academy, we are our own development team. So we have something like 30 developers working on that. But we also, as I said, we are not able to develop everything. So we work also with digital companies, some startup. It's open. So we try to be able to master everything, to understand everything. We don't want to just, it depends on the use case sometimes. Few months ago we did one for the human resources. They wanted to have a AR application to explain what could be the the company. So I don't know the word in English. Sorry. It was a human resource. It was not core for Airbus. So it was fully developed by an external company. But for the core use case, we want to have people from Airbus involved inside. But we can work with external company.
Very good. Thank you so much, Fabien. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.